2 years ago, I woke up in an empty house with no chair, with no bed, with no microwave, with no carpet. I only had a lasso, and I had to use that to get a space to sit, because the tiles can be cold sometimes. But that was my choice. I started my Airbnb business. It's a business that needs a lot of capital. Did I have the capital as a young entrepreneur? I did not have. I had the money to pay for rent, but I did not have the money to furnish. I decided to use everything that I have in my personal house to facilitate my business. That was the most difficult time at that moment. Sitting down is not easy for anyone. Sleeping down is also not very easy. But as much as it was painful, today is the most inspiring story, even for myself. We have evolved from 1 property to 9 properties as I stand in front of you. By the time I start the business, as an entrepreneur, I didn't have the money. I ran to a couple of friends to ask. Some of them, they did not give me the money, not because they didn't have, but they did not understand. They were asking me questions like, how are you going to get clients in your Airbnb? Because it was not a well understood concept. When that happened, I had to give up everything to fund and support my vision. Today, if you don't have the right partnership for your business, it can be very hard for you to grow or even to scale your business. The most interesting part that I always laugh about, when I grew to 3 properties, the people that I went to ask money, they began to come back and said, can we be your partners? And I took a bit of time to decide who do I want to become my partners. Not everyone who comes to you as an entrepreneur when you have your business deserves to be a partner. Not everyone that comes to you and offer money, you deserve to say, oh yes, I need to take the money. I took the time, I did the research, I sat with these partners, understanding what do they want from me? How will my company gain? And today, those partners, I'm sure they're very happy, because the next time you probably see me in a stage like this, I'll probably have 50 Airbnbs all over the world. At some point, a friend of mine walked into my house and looked at it and said, this looks like a mosque or an empty place. At some point there were jokes, but as I remember today, these are things that reminds me where I come from and what I had to give up to be the happy you see today. Entrepreneurship is a journey that we start, but not most people tell us how deep it is. What are some of the sacrifices that we need to do? The unemployment level is high, and we're encouraged to be entrepreneurs. But I'm here to share with you my story so that you can understand how deep this entrepreneurship can be, what it takes, and sometimes the sacrifice. At times you might have to give up everything that you have to facilitate your business and to fund your innovation. Growing up to Airbnb business, I wanted to know more about the Airbnb. I began to search for coaches who were going to help me to elevate my business to reach a certain level. It was close to impossible. Well, I found few online, but I was not convinced with how they presented themselves. I decided to take a course, but also I decided to invest in research and empowering myself. Out of that, I'm very proud to speak with you today and tell you I'm the leading Airbnb coach in Uganda as we speak. And also, if you search by AI and ChatGPT, I hope these AI tell us the truth. When you search in Africa, I appear among number 4 or number 5. Pioneering a physical Airbnb masterclass in Uganda was not just a concept of a masterclass. To me, it was an empowerment of other young entrepreneurs who wants to join the real estate industry. I picture myself, I didn't have anyone who could hold my hand and tell me, Happy, this is where you can buy the furniture. This is where you can buy this. But today, I have a community of around 150 people all over the world. I teach, I coach them, and we spend time together sharing the experience. How can we learn from one another? A challenge of an Airbnb host in Zambia is not the same as the challenge of an Airbnb host in Uganda. Being that we're in Uganda, we learn the strategies that work, strategies that are going to help them to evolve from Airbnb host to other niche market. As an entrepreneur today, you can join the Airbnb industry by either, I heard someone speaking that they do furnitures. We partners with people who do furnitures and recommend them to people who wants to join Airbnb. We create employment by starting an Airbnb with zero income, by becoming a manager. You manage someone's property with zero income and you earn yourself some money. And if you could take a step and learn and invest in yourself, you could have some of these titles or some of these opportunities into the Airbnb industry. My story makes me cry myself sometimes, because moving from sleeping on a bed to sleeping down. At that point, I was a student at Makerere University. Coming back home to an empty house, I have nowhere to sit, I have to read, and reading from down. How many people know Alesso? Maybe you probably understand well. Yeah, that's exactly what I used to put down, and I would sit. At times I would cry. At times I felt like giving up. At times I felt, I think I should continue being hired. But it took me 9 months to have return on investment. And after that, I awarded myself because I went through sleeping down. Right now, it's a journey that I move in different places and inspire others that you can give up everything that you have to fund what you believe in. Most people might not understand. Others might even not be interested. But are you interested? Do you want to try? Do you want to make a change? I always tell myself, try to fail, but never fail to try. The right partners will help you to grow and scale your business. Thank you very much.